Subpoenas for Ashton Kutcher and his ex-wife Demi Moore have reportedly been issued, requiring them to testify in the case against Diddy. Allegedly, Ashton Kutcher is concerned that his connection to the murder of Ashley Ellerin could be brought up against him.
Ashton and Puffy, or Diddy, have been friends for decades. And they've done movies together, they've hung out together, and he can't say anything because he's one of those guys. Remember I did that story last week, like, where are all Diddy's friends? Because the silence is deafening. A lot of them don't want people looking into their closet, but Ashton doesn't want the blowback that he got with Danny Masterson.
All right, so pretty tepid in how they reply. Meantime, we're hearing Diddy's ex, Cassie, is cooperating with the feds during this investigation.
100%.
What more is she saying, Paula?
She's not saying anything. So here's the deal. She had sued him for sex trafficking, rape, a bunch of horrible laundry list of stuff. And he settled. It's the one case he settled. It was the first case he settled it. I'm hearing for around $30 million. However, just because you settle a case, you may have an NDA, but if the feds come a knocking, you better answer.
Ashton Kutcher and Diddy have been friends for years, and Ashton has been seen partying at Diddy's wild events. What's even more concerning is his history of associating with criminals. Just last year, he was criticized for supporting Danny Masterson, who was already convicted of rape. This raises the question, why did Ashton call a convicted rapist his mentor and role model?
More backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis after their video explaining why they wrote letters of support for convicted rapist Danny Masterson. The actors were criticized for calling their former co-star a role model, among other things. And the consensus is that that video didn't help.
We are aware of the pain.
Fierce backlash today for Ashton Kutcher and wife Mila Kunis as they apologize for the character letter calling that 70s show star Danny Masterson an outstanding role model and exceptional older brother figure with a caring nature.
A couple months ago, Danny's family reached out to us and they asked us to write character letters to represent the person that we knew for 25 years. So that the judge could take that into full consideration relative to the sentencing.
The letters were not written to question the legitimacy of the judicial system or the validity of the jury's ruling.
They were intended for the judge to read, and we're sorry.
One of the women Masterson was sentenced last week of raping, known only as Jane Doe No. 1, is slamming their apology. This video was incredibly insulting and hurtful. Chrissy Bixler, another Masterson accuser, blasted Kutcher. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor.
That 70s show star Danny Masterson is behind bars and will be for a long, long time. If you did not hear the news, he was sentenced yesterday for a rape case, 2 rapes actually, and got 30 years to life. And there are already concerns about his mental state. As he has begun serving his time, he was remanded immediately in court, and now police are concerned.
They are watching him.
This isn't the first time Ashton Kutcher has faced backlash for suspicious activities. Looking at his career and where he is now, it seems like he has been deliberately trying to distance himself from his past. There are things he appears to be hiding, and if he is subpoenaed to testify, it could potentially bring his career to an end.
What about Ashton Kutcher? Because Ashton Kutcher, who I believe could possibly just as bad, Ashton Kutcher as well, listen, he's not guilty of this, but he arranged a date. He was late for that date, and when he got to the girl's house, he looked through the window. She was stabbed 47 times. The man ended up getting charged, but Ashton Kutcher was also involved with Abercrombie and Fitch. I think it's Mr. Jeffries who's just been done for trafficking. Ashton Kutcher was also friends with Brittany Murphy, who also was friends with P. Diddy, who also died the same death as Kim Porter. Now Ashton Kutcher as well also runs a child protection thing, I think it's called Fawn, where he's trying to save children. But we know now a lot of these people use this thing for child trafficking to actually not expose it, but to gain from their own benefit. He was also married to Demi Moore, and there was a video of Demi Moore kissing a 12-year-old or a 13-year-old boy. I just feel as if there's a lot of darkness around these people. I feel as if they feel as if they're untouchable. I genuinely think he could be next Ashton Kutcher.
A freak? I would say he's definitely a freak.
I heard some wild stories. I heard he had
We all heard that.
Yeah, you know
but then, come on, I want to hear what you heard.
I mean, I heard that he had this dude Ashton Kutcher bent over.
Now I'm gonna tell you the truth. Him and Ashton Kutcher was really tight. We used to go to his crib. He had a penthouse on 74th and 8th Avenue in Central Park West.
There are reports that the alleged subpoena may already exist, which could explain why Ashton Kutcher has remained silent despite the growing rumors against him. According to criminal defense attorneys, his silence is likely due to instructions from federal authorities on how to handle the situation.
Government, they could subpoena Ashton Kutcher to provide information, right? And that's something we have been wondering. You know, a big talking point is, well, why didn't you have these federal agents that swarm these properties? Sometimes a raid like that is in conjunction with an indictment and arrest. Here, it's not the case. I'm of the opinion they're still in the evidence gathering phase. They have to process everything that was recovered from the homes, but I also was suspecting that they're issuing subpoenas to a lot of people right now to get a better understanding of what that looks like. And if that's the case, and Ashton Kutcher was issued a subpoena, then no wonder he wouldn't be saying anything about Diddy right now either, right?
Well, that's right. And, let's underline the significance of those raids, okay? We have the Fourth Amendment that says that unreasonable searches and seizures are prohibited in this country. Federal agents can't simply legally barge into someone's home without having persuaded a judge to issue a warrant, to sign off on a warrant application. So, that's, and it's not something that you do early on in an investigation if you don't have enough support to justify a warrant.
Back in 2019, Ashton Kutcher was a suspect in a murder case involving a woman he had planned to go out with. He testified during the trial and was later cleared of any wrongdoing. However, some believe that his involvement was actually covered up.
Her name was Ashley Ellen, and they were actually going on a date the night that she was found dead. Ashton Kutcher told the court that he screwed up on the night that his girlfriend was horrifically murdered. He told the judge that he was freaking out after learning that Ashley was butchered the same evening they were due to go on a date. Ashton even saw his date's blood splattered on the carpet, which he put down to a red wine stain when he was looking through the window trying to check if she was home, because her car was there, the lights were on, yet she wasn't answering the door. Ashley was a fashion student, and she actually met Ashton at a Christmas party, but at that point he was in a relationship. Once he became single, he called her up and asked her to go out.
Chrissy Bixler, one of Danny Masterson's victims, claims that on the night of the murder, Ashton Kutcher called Masterson after failing to meet up with the victim and allegedly confessed his involvement in the crime. She says she overheard the entire conversation and insists that Ashton is guilty.
I think the story ends here, but no, it continues, because Danny Masterson's accuser details an alleged call with Ashton Kutcher the night his date was murdered. Chrissy wrote in a statement on Instagram, "Dear Ashton, I know the secrets your role model keeps for you, ones that will end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speaker that night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor." And that was the day that Ashley lost her life. So why did Ashton call Danny, and what did he have to tell him?
This guy, Michael, the serial killer, was able to go do it again because the cops weren't able to actually process the case because they knew Ashton Kutcher was indeed lying. So what was he lying about? Well, here's Chrissy Bixler, who's coming in, who was dating Danny Masters at the time. You actually know your secrets, your role model keeps for you, ones that would end you. Did you forget I was there? You were on speakerphone the night you called Danny on February 21st, 2001. I heard everything. I heard the plan. In my opinion, you're just as sick as your mentor. Now, what was this plan? Yes, he was in his car for over an hour outside of Ashley's house, speaking with his manager about what to do to protect Ashton's career and reputation. He then called Danny. I heard the entire conversation. Law enforcement was and is aware that
Ashton Kutcher's connection to Diddy seems highly suspicious, with many believing there's something shady happening behind the scenes. In 2003, Ashton and Diddy even invited 13-year-old actress Davy Chase to Diddy's MTV after-party. Interestingly, Diddy is currently being sued by an unnamed Jane Doe, who alleges that he assaulted her at an MTV Awards after-party in 2000.
So good, you're doing so good.
I just want to say, everyone will suffer. Hey, MTV Rock! I won the MTV Movie Award.
Coming to the after party tonight? Yeah! Coming to the after party tonight?
Wow. Okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment. So it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked because he was like, "Yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me," and I was like, "I don't know what to tell you. Everybody's on the table." He's like, "Not me. I'm off the table." And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out, watch football together.
With all the allegations against Ashton Kutcher and his ties to Diddy, it's no surprise he might be worried. Even if he's innocent, being connected to these accusations is a tough spot to be in. What's even more shocking is that Ashton invited Diddy to his company, which works to stop child trafficking and has partnered with the FBI. Having someone accused of such crimes involved with an organization meant to protect children raises serious questions.
I've been on FBI raids where I've seen things that no person should ever see. I've seen video content of a child that's the same age as mine being raped by an American man that was a sex tourist in Cambodia. And this child was so conditioned by her environment that she thought she was engaging in play. But the right to pursue happiness for so many is stripped away. It's raped. It's abused. It's taken by force, fraud, or coercion. It is sold for the momentary happiness of another.
Aside from Diddy, Danny Masterson, and Ashton Kutcher's own behavior, his ex-wife Demi Moore also has a questionable past when it comes to children. A recently resurfaced video from 1982 shows Demi kissing her former General Hospital co-star Philip Tanzini when he was just 14 years old. The footage, reportedly taken at Tanzini's birthday party, captures Demi making out with him and saying, "I love Philip. He's one of my most favorite people," despite being married to Freddie Moore at the time.
Okay, one more time.
Why do you think everybody's come out?
I don't know. Maybe just because I love them all and I hope they all love me.
We do love him.
And I love them.
If you think it's for the publicity, you're out of your mind.
Absolutely, because he's one of my most favorite people.
Have you been working on the show?
Almost a month and a half.
What's your role?
I'm Lucy Love.
And I'm Philip Tanzini, and I play Jeremy, and you're stealing my part. I'm sorry. We're moving on to interview number 2 here. Oh, okay.
Because I love Philip, and he's the only one I love.
Do your interview already.
All right. I'm Lucy Love, but personally, I love Philip, and that's it. Okay.
We got our new storyline cooking up pretty soon. Have a bite.
I want to say happy birthday to Philip because I love him dearly. He's one of my most favorite people.
How long have you been out for?
For about 3 weeks, and he's been terrific.
To make matters worse, Demi Moore had a difficult past. In a recent interview, she shared that her mother took money from a man in exchange for her. The fact that she went through such a painful experience and later displayed questionable behavior, even marrying Ashton Kutcher, makes the situation even more concerning.
As an anxious teen, she is taken by her mother to bars so that men will notice them. She's 15 when she comes home one night and an older man they know is in the apartment with the key. She writes, it was rape and a devastating betrayal. Revealed by the man's cruel question, how does it feel to be whored by your mother for $500?
Do you believe she sold you?
I think in my deep heart, no. I don't think it was a straightforward transaction, but she still did give him the access and put me in harm's way.
Diddy might still be in contact with Ashton Kutcher. In a recently leaked call from the MDC, Diddy was heard speaking to an unnamed person about his facilitators. During the call, he seemed upset with Ellen for attempting to escape to England and not publicly supporting him. There are also reports that Ashton Kutcher is planning to flee to Europe, raising speculation that Diddy might be trying to stop him.
You think I wasn't gonna get at you from the inside?
He has reached out to a witness, an alleged participant in multiple freak-offs.
Then why Oprah staying quiet? Why Ellen moving to another country?
And he's asking people to intimidate witnesses or pay people off.
Don't be shocked if nobody show up to testify. Don't contact me anymore, Puff. I already got that Houston lawyer breathing down my neck over that 13-year-old girl. If you don't want things to get worse for you, then you need to start answering my son's phone call.
The defendant's goal is to blackmail victims and witnesses either into silence or providing testimony helpful to his defense.
New York is having a problem with leaks in this Diddy case, with alleged video of the court hearings already on the internet and leaked phone calls where he's calling witnesses. Things are getting out of control and you won't believe what he says on these calls. Recently, the DA released that Diddy was contacting witnesses from jail and they were saying this is the reason that he shouldn't get bail. He was using other inmates' phone calls to three-way people who would then call the witnesses, and that's who he spoke to over the phone. Also, in a weird turn of events, the DA who brought these charges against Diddy is suddenly resigning from his position during the biggest case of his career, and that is strange. So let's break down this insane phone call that we found online. Legal disclaimer, people, I'm just a guy that reacts to stuff I find on the internet. So as of right now, everything is rumors, gossip, or opinions of others. Everything in this video is just
the latest on Sean Diddy Combs. Prosecutors are accusing Combs of trying to contact prospective witnesses and obstruct the case against him. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Kotursky, is here with more on that. Good morning to you, Aaron.
Good morning, Robin. Sean Combs is going to be asking a judge this week to release him on bail, but prosecutors now say the argument for detention has only gotten stronger. This morning, federal prosecutors are accusing Sean Diddy Combs of escalating his attempts to influence the jury pool and subvert his criminal case. Almost immediately after arriving at the federal jail in Brooklyn, prosecutors say Combs started using telephone accounts of at least 8 other inmates to call people not on his approved contact list. Prosecutors allege Combs frequently instructs family members and his attorneys to add other individuals via three-way call, which is not allowed. On some of those calls, prosecutors say Combs is explicit about his intention to use public statements to sway potential jurors, including this Instagram post by Diddy's kids.
Happy birthday to Daddy.
Prosecutors say Combs enlisted family members to plan and execute a social media campaign around the defendant's birthday, the first time we heard his voice from behind bars.
Oh, thank y'all for being strong, and thank y'all for being by my side and supporting me. I love y'all. I got the best family in the world.
Prosecutors say Combs then monitored audience engagement from the video.